Good evening, everyone. It's Astrologer Val Evans. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the new people coming in and watching this case with us. And of course, welcome all the valedictorians, the members who make this show possible, and the replay crew, of course. We have a lot to discuss. Natalie's here. Angel, good morning. Nan's here. Welcome, Nan. And Teresa, Dylan, Sloan Bella couldn't find a chart in Dylan and a few other things. Okay, so I'll have to look at that. Tell me more about what Sloan said. So thank you so much. And hello, Soda Pop. Astrocast is here. And thank you so much, Shauna. Please remember to subscribe if you like this type of show. We do a lot of different ways to introduce astrology to you. And we also just try to make predictions and look ahead to see what's going on in cases, criminal cases, civil cases. Hello, Agnes Gina. Beautiful name. Darlene, welcome. Deb's here. I haven't seen you in a while, Deb. And we've got quite a group today. We've got some lawyers in here. We've got some really good psychics here, and everybody's an astrologer, really. A lot of people know some astrology, and you don't have to know astrology in order to keep up with us because we tend to just talk about what's going on in the case right now. Natalie, you said, didn't Sloan say BK was the cleanup man? I haven't watched a video on him since she did it a long time ago. Yeah, I think I remember something like that. Well, what I'm confused about, and maybe you can clue me in, and I'm going to show the comments here on the screen. Hello, Mystics Insight. Nice to see you. Always love tarot readers and psychics coming in. We want to know what you're pulling, what you're saying, what you're thinking. And KK's here. Hello, KK. All right. What I don't understand is what's coming out that was it that Dylan said that she heard Koberger or the suspect say Kaylee's name. Is that what I'm hearing? Because that really throws me for a loop. The other thing too was that she was saying that Kaylee ran downstairs, but how was she found in the bed if she had run downstairs? So that's what I don't understand. Wasn't Kaylee and Maddie found in the bed on the top floor? Kind of crazy. But the thing that's really interesting too is that in the chart, we were seeing something about it was Aquarius, and Aquarius means the roof, but it also means upstairs. And you can see that someone waited, maybe not on the roof, but waited up high upstairs. So it seems to start gelling now with the crime chart. So, of course, the crime chart that we use as astrologers is the time and location of the crime. Time, date, and location, just like a horoscope. We make a horoscope of the crime. I'm going to look at the solar return chart for this crime because in 25, I almost said 95, in 2025 to 2026, something's coming out that is absolutely shocking. So I don't know what it is. I mean, isn't this case supposed to be closed? We're done, right? So yeah, this is the big thing, Angel. You're touching on this. Some are saying it's okay. I'm here to help you was a line from the Vampire Diaries they were watching that night, allegedly. And if that's the case, it really puts Dylan into the spotlight again. And hey, Shauna, glad you could join us. Yeah, so waiting, that closet. Exactly. And that's what Todd said too. So incredible. He was absolutely incredible in gaining so many clues. And I think, I think he's right. I think that there's a possibility. Maybe there could be other people. He's seeing other people. I don't know how they factored in. Do I think Koberger was in there? I do. I really do. So here's the thing too. Here's why I think Dylan is innocent. There might be some deception, but why I think she's innocent, if she was in any way part of this, she probably wouldn't have told the police that she saw somebody. She wouldn't have given a description. She wouldn't have locked eyes with him. She would have known what was going on and kept the door shut. So that's why I'm thinking, and obviously she was extremely, extremely upset. So it did seem like very upset, overly than the average. I shouldn't say that. I'll get myself in trouble because what's an average victim in this kind of crime? But there were statements by people online thinking that maybe it was histrionics. There was crying during the 911 and then outside, and we saw it all in the last episode. Thank you, Shauna. Has anyone seen that ring footage from the back of the house where BK's car circles over and over again? And then at 417 is the last time before he speeds off at 420. I can't find it anymore. Interesting that you can't find it. Uh, Darlene, you think her brain protected itself and blocked out everything. Yeah, that's possible. Um, Diaries and vampires. Yes. Everything about this case is shocking. I wanted to show you something I found that was really interesting. And just correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Dylan say that Koberger or the suspect said said Kaylee's name? So tell me if I'm wrong on that. Um, and did anyone hear Brian say Dee came to her room? I know Dee said to law enforcement on the cam she went to, Bethany's room. So let me read that again. Did anyone hear Bethany say Dee came to her room? I know Dylan said to Ellie on the cam she went to Bethany's room. Yeah, there was a little bit of discussion about that last time. Who called whom? And it seems like Bethany was the one that called Dylan. And here is the most glaring thing that I'm having a problem with. You could even hear in maybe it was either the 911 call, whatever it was, the audio that you heard, maybe it was a past party. You can hear the echo of that house. So what kind of noises are you going to make? Well, there's going to be screams from four people, in my opinion. There are going to be dog barks, and these dogs, they bark until somebody comes, usually to the house. So constant dog barking, I think, happened. We've got a firecracker that we didn't know anything about. Um, and just, I mean, the echo in this place, you can really hear people. So it just doesn't gel. It doesn't gel. That's why the internet is having a problem. Mystic Insights, I find it suspicious that DM was Snapchatting someone during being scared. Yeah. Yeah. It's like I was terrified. I went down to Bethany's room, but then we didn't think anything of it. I mean, literally, that was the two statements to back together. So, Christine, I have to be up at 5 a.m., Val. Oh my gosh. What time is it now? For you, let's see. God, Angel, yeah. Um, Natalie, did D say he looked okay? D did say he looked dead at her and didn't come towards her room. Right. I think she probably wouldn't have mentioned it. I really don't. I mean, she obviously was upset. I'm not going to point my finger at her as far as any really devious things, but there's something wrong, especially if she's copying. Now, here's the other thing. If someone has been drinking wine, is been partaking in something, maybe there's a possibility that she is connecting one sentence from a movie to what she heard. And so, yeah. Okay. Shauna, I never heard Bethany state that in the cam footage and about Dee coming to her room, or did I miss that? I know Dee said on cam and of course in the documents, but I would have said that to Ellie if I were B. Yeah, I think there was some statement that Bethany said that she came down. So there were people are claiming that there were conflicting statements by both witnesses. Darlene Wolf, the door was closed and the dog was closed in the room and was barking. Okay. So, but still, I'm sorry to say that house, it was, and I believe it was Amber who mentioned to me that when the house came down, when they demolished it, it came down like a cardboard box. And which is really weird because we've been talking about how Gemini represents cardboard boxes because they all look alike. They're all Gemini and they look the same. And so, this Gemini energy would translate into how somebody would describe that house. But the point I'm trying to make is you could hear everything in that house. You really could. And from what I understand, that's my impression. Natalie, did anyone else catch that? Another person was supposedly in the house watching the TV show with Bethany and Dylan. I think the initial was L. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. There were people up. There were people dancing. Miss Charlene, nice to see you. It was like paper mache. Yeah. So you could really, it wasn't built well. Thanks, Shauna. Yes. And with that being said, I should probably say that this video is for entertainment purposes only. And if you're interested in classes, I've got forensic astrology classes coming up. I've got a few spots left. I've got, I think, 2 spots left in my basic astrology course coming up next 2 weekends. So definitely check it out. astrologywithval.as.me. And I've got some specials going on this week only. So definitely check those out. Mystic Insights, Intuitive Tarot. In the body cam footage, you can hear how loud those stairs squeak. Yes, exactly. So people are running up and down the stairs. People are screaming. But then at the same time, like what isn't being said, and they're saying that Ethan was asleep. And maybe that's why I don't know, there was no noise from him, but it's hard for me to believe that Ethan didn't make a sound. It's really hard, especially with Xana, his girlfriend running around. She's up. Did you see the new pictures out of the Jack in the Box? The fries are out. Like she's in the middle of eating. So it doesn't make any sense. What I don't understand is how I don't think Kaylee came downstairs. It would be impossible, right? Unless she went back upstairs to help Madison. So I don't know. Natalie, how about the officer with absolutely no gloves on, holding onto the rail to get up and down the stairs? I couldn't believe that. I know. There were quite a few things that we saw. We saw, thanks to Shauna, she was telling us and pointing out how 2 people left the scene and they just got in their car and left. This is not something we want to see in the middle of a crime scene. Not if there is more than one killer, exactly. And I mean, really, it makes you think that the defense could have destroyed the prosecutions, even though there were some real strong parts of the case. For instance, there was a witness that was going to say that she saw Koberger in his car parking before the murders. So if the DoorDash, so this happened right after the DoorDash person left. He was waiting, I guess, for them to deliver. Now, the other thing too is I'm going to show you this clip first. And hang on, let me get rid of this. Wait till you see this. I'm just going to play the whole thing. This is the Idaho police. Okay, hang on. Okay. Let's see if I can do this.
Hey, I'm interested in the case. He was going and downloading the Moscow press releases to his device.
Brian Koberger's secrets are being exposed by 2 experts who did a deep dive into his cell phone and computer, and what they uncovered is disturbing.
Lots of like flexing muscles, selfies, half clothed, like that. There's numerous instances of that on his phone.
Okay, that wasn't the one. This is the one.
So Moscow, Idaho Police Chief Anthony Dellinger sharing new details about the investigation into the 2022 murder of 4 University of Idaho students. He sat down with our own Fox News contributor Paul Morrow in a Fox and Friends exclusive interview. Take a look.
In 2022, when the task force was formed to investigate the Koberger case, what was your role at the time?
At the time, I was our services division commander. I was at rank of captain, and that position oversees our investigative unit.
What was the feeling inside the task force as far as whether or not you were going to get there, whether you were going to solve this thing?
Yeah, the feeling, it was palpable. We were all on the same sheet of music. We had the same drive, the same fire in our belly.
So let's go to the night of. All right. It's November 13, 2022.
This happened in our house. We don't know why.
What is the address of the emergency?
1122.
Shortly after the call came in, and didn't expect to hear what I heard on the other end of the line, that we had not only a homicide, but we had a quadruple homicide. 4 U of I students were killed, and my initial reaction was disbelief.
Heavy crime scene for you guys. Mm-hmm. Did you go to the scene?
Immediately.
So, Chief, we're here at the site. Obviously, the house is gone. Where was the camera that had that video and audio that ended up being so dispositive?
It was on the front side of that house right there.
This house here?
Yep, on the other side.
Pointing at the intersection?
Correct.
And that's, I would assume, how you knew a white Elantra was something of interest to put out. After he does the three-point turn that you guys captured on the camera, Brian Koberger comes up this driveway and parks in this parking lot, and then essentially surveils the victims from a vantage point up here before making his way down into the back door.
Correct.
And these trees are a lot thinner. And from here, you were looking right down through these trees into the second floor of the home. And those sliding glass doors that were not locked.
Correct. We did have information, obviously, at the onset that we thought he'd come in and out from the back door.
Right.
We had the back door was ajar when we arrived. Dylan's testimony about seeing him heading in the direction of the back door. So
Right.
that obviously led us to this area. Now, one thing that we do know about this area is vehicularly, there's only one way in, one way out. We had members from every agency out here on foot, canvassing every square inch that we possibly could for days, checking every single home for any kind of camera system, talking to anybody who we could get a hold of to see if they were around or if they heard anything, saw anything that night. Starting this investigation from the ground up, and it was a whodunit.
Were you guys aware inside the task force of the intense media interest in this and maybe some of the skepticism that began to develop whether or not you'd get a solve?
That was one part of this investigation that we certainly weren't ready for, or didn't think it was going to happen. None of us thought that this would turn into an international media event, and it caught us off guard.
There's a lot of speculation online and elsewhere regarding what occurred in the house. What did you find when you got there?
Upon arrival, the initial officers found Zaina and Ethan in Zaina's bedroom on the second floor,
Right.
and then on the third floor in Maddie's room were Maddie and Kaylee.
Why do you think he did not attack Dylan?
Again, that's just pure speculation. We just don't know.
Did he see her? Definitely.
From her recollection, if I recall, she did say that they looked at each other.
Their eyeballs met.
Correct.
And yet he walks right by.
Correct.
There's all this speculation. Why didn't she call 911? Am I wrong in saying that even had she called 911, there was likely nothing that was going to be able to be done for the victims?
That's correct.
Dylan gives the description, and it's a pretty good description. It ends up being important, I believe. Body size, shape, body type, bushy eyebrows, balaclava. Was her description not an important piece of the puzzle?
Certainly was. Yeah, it was helpful. And then once we identified the suspect, those details that she was able to give did match.
There's some recent reporting that Koberger was heard by Dylan literally saying Kaylee's name during the attack.
Here
I
it
would
is.
argue, obviously, that he knew who was in the house by name and that there had to be some kind of previous contact. Is that accurate? Did the task force hear this?
Not that I can recall. I'm not quite sure where they got that report, but that doesn't seem accurate to me.
So you don't remember hearing anything about him saying the name of Kaylee or any of the girls?
Correct. The only thing that I believe was reported was that he said something. Someone heard a voice say something along the lines of, "It's okay, I'm here to help you."
Why this house? Why these girls? What do you? Any theories from the task force?
No, we weren't able to track down any connection.
None whatsoever.
None.
Including online.
Correct. Now, our investigators dug very deeply into social media and all of the potential avenues and all of the tips that we got pointing towards that, and we're never able to establish a connection. We did find, once we got his devices, that he had been routinely wiping them and using programs to do such. But in all of our other dives into all of the social media of everybody involved, we weren't able to find any kind of a connection. Everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to know why. Why this house? Why these kids? And we just don't have that information, and I don't think we ever will.
I disagree. We're gonna be hearing some things come out. Somebody knows something, and I want to know who it is. This is the 25-26 chart. It's so crazy. Now this starts November 13th, 2025. Hasn't started yet, and this is for the crime chart, and we're doing a solar return predictive chart for it. Okay, so we can still see certain things. So Leo's going to mean King Road. King Road is going to continue to be a very big topic here for Moscow. There it is. The rising sign represents the profile. And so we're going to see the sun down here conjunct Black Moon Lilith and opposing Uranus in a T-square with the moon in the second house. There's something coming out, guys. And I think it's probably maybe before 2026, because there's this T-square really, let's see, that's December 13th. This is January 13th. So December time frame, something seems to be coming out. And so I'm going to pull some cards, find out what, it looks like it's pretty shocking. I'm not sure what it is. What am I seeing here in this T-square of this predictive soul return chart for the crime chart, November 13th, 2022? This is big. This is big, 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 big stuff. Now, the moon sometimes can represent a home, maybe an expensive home, a wealthy home, which is probably not this house, but there is, the whole profile of the crime looks like there is a very, very nasty shock. Nasty because of the Black Moon Lilith. It's in Scorpio. So somebody else is being betrayed. There could be a shock about a pregnancy, which is Scorpio. What is this shock? 10 of Wands reversed. Somebody not able to let go, maybe. And then 8 of Wands. So this could be some kind of communication that is coming out. Somebody knows something. They're holding on to something. But they want to get even. Maybe they feel betrayed. It's pretty nasty. It looks like, I don't know who it is. Looks like maybe a brunette. What do you think, Natalie, with the 10 of Swords reversed? Christina asked a question about the paint. Paint is Neptune. God, it's very, very, prominent in the charts here. I don't know if I can answer that right now. Maybe a sister. Okay. Thanks, Angel, for mentioning that. Please hit the subscribe button and the like button if you like shows like this. Angel, I'd be interested in asking if Mother had any influence over him taking a plea deal. Maybe that's possible. Angel, you also said we can't really prove it was his car. We can't really prove he was actually in the house. We don't have a weapon. We're not sure if there was a second weapon, but he pleads guilty. Why? Plus the fact we've got DNA from different people under the victim's nails, allegedly. Yeah, I think you're right, Darlene. I think there was an obsession. Something is wrong with the account of Kaylee. It's hard for me to believe that Kaylee had come downstairs screaming, somebody's here. I think maybe Dylan had misheard that or something. Deb, you said, I still think Koberger was there to watch or film. Killers were other people, more than one, like a blitz attack. I don't know, because I think that if that were the case, there would have been more noise. There would have been, more male voices. So, and Dylan didn't hear that. Yeah, Miss Charlene, something isn't ending quite yet. I also have a question too about something that's coming up, something that I'm fearing, and I'm going to tell you about that in a second. Christine, you're saying you think that the outside of the house is painted, the area by the kitchen window. Can we see it in the chart, please, Val? The time is 1:30 a.m. UK. Oh, well, thank you for joining us at that late time. All right, let me see. I don't think I have the crime chart right now, but Neptune was right on. You might have something there because I believe Neptune and Jupiter were right on the 6th house cusp, and that is a worker. So yeah, there could have been somebody who was painting something. There could have been somebody. Happy Days says, no one seems to know or see when Xana got home. I thought it was also weird that the police officer who's been overseeing this case for years, didn't he say Xana's name wrong, or am I saying it wrong? Didn't you hear the neighbor's Ring camera with the dog barking and a thud? Like you can hear a thud like in the next apartment building over. Doesn't seem there's something wrong. Dylan did yell at them to shut up. There are people who are in, an environment where they don't think anything could ever happen. Yes, everybody saw the handprints on the kitchen window. And it showed the food driver leave. It was after that. The person isn't ready to say it's over. There's somebody out there, maybe a female. Never said that in the body cam footage. I had completely forgotten she had said that. Okay. Now, yeah, so what I'm getting, we've got Black Moon Lilith conjunct this chart. We are going to see something come out that's scorpionic. This is some secrets. And, Scorpio represents a river. And it's also mystic. So it's something in private that's happening. 4th house is private. 10th house is public. And when you see Uranus in this T-square here, in the 11th house, that's pretty public. That's on social media. Something is going to come out on social media. I'm telling you, it's really going to shock these people, whoever they are going to be in shock. So there's a possibility that some bad people will be, I guess, revealed. A very, very interesting chart. So, and it really starts to take effect. This would be March 13th, maybe the end of February, beginning of March. A lot of stuff we're going to be hearing, and just absolutely shocking. More on the 11th house of social media. Uranus represents to shock. 11th house, social media. Just wow. Thanks, Christine. Yeah, Angel D, thud, constant alert barking. Definitely heard what sounds like Xana crying out. Oh my God, and other sounds. And I think this is a good point. They weren't all the bestest of besties either. The stories now make it sound like they were almost family, but the new documents really show they were just acquaintances via each other. Yeah, like, I don't know how to spell her name, or I'm not sure about this or that. Maybe birthdays. I'm not sure exactly. I think Dylan heard a lot more than she's saying. I think you're right. I don't like to talk about victims who have gone through a traumatic experience like this, but there's just too much that seems unexplainable. So I'm just going to pull one card, and I'm just going to say Dylan, and we're going to see what it is. Hopefully it will make sense. 9 of Pentacles. She was making some money. How was she making her money? It was a good card. No, I don't think so, Miss Charlene. We got the right guy. But there's just something we don't know, because we need to know the motive. We need to know the timeline, a little bit better timeline. We need to understand why there could have been a little bit of deception. Oh my God. Are you serious, Natalie? Dylan has a GoFundMe over 100,000 right now. I'm not sure if that's true, but we'll have to verify. Wow, you got the Chariot upright. Yeah, we're not victim shaming or blaming anyone. So he admitted guilt. We're purely asking questions and reading charts and cards. Thank you, Angel. Yeah, very, very, very serious. Yeah, very serious about the fact that she has that. So she is, and let's say for all of the trauma she's gone through, I'll bet you she's going to put that towards therapy, because I do think she had nothing to do with this. But why am I getting 9 of Pentacles? Let me pull a clarifier card for Dylan. 4 of Wands. Another good card. She was maybe party girl. Celebrating something, lots of money. Maybe one more card here. sometimes partying means, the D word. And the D word doesn't necessarily have to be Dylan. Isn't it interesting that Xana, she would make her own jokes about how it, to remember it, it's like Xanax. Dylan with the D letter. So clarifier card on Dylan. Ace of Pentacles reversed. So I think something might have cut off some type of resource. So yeah, a lot of people are saying that soda pop. Yeah. Okay. So here's what I wanted to talk about. There's a big shock coming. We got Mercury retrograde in this chart, and we've got Mars conjunct Mercury retrograde. And there is another T-square with Uranus. So it's like a bunch of shocks. It's like, first of all, the information comes out, and this is about the home. Maybe it's about the home, maybe the basement, maybe that locked. Oh, let's pull a card on that locked closet. So that could be coming out. What was in that closet? A secret about the home might be coming out. But then right after that in March, it would seem, now Mercury would also be activated maybe as early as November because it's a Virgo time frame. And Mercury is the Lord of Virgo. So this could really, it's around the holidays. It's like two, if not more, shocks. And what I'm worried about is that there's a copycat that might take place with this case. So I'm going to do a card. Is there going to be something that happens in the future, maybe in the near future, that has to do with a copycat murder, like Moscow? Ooh, I got King of Cups. So that would be king, another king. That would be a yes. Clarifier card on if we're talking about a copycat killer. Is there something coming up in the next 6-12 months that that would kind of make people be reminded of this terrible crime? Sun reversed. Okay. Could be a Leo card. Not sure what that is. I'm not sure how we could apply that to a crime scene. One more clarifier card. Another Leo. This is more Leo, and it has to do with females. So maybe a female, maybe a victim. It looks like just one, but is there another? And this is a clarifying card. Is there going to be another crime that reminds us all of this Moscow crime soon? 8 of Pentacles. Okay. So, not sure about that. Could have something to do with the internet. That could be maybe it's the dark web. So lots of fire energy. Yeah. You get the Emperor and the King of Wands. The perp could have reddish hair. Yeah, definitely. I'm always fascinated with the fact, and this is just recent. I mean, this was recent since I started covering this case, but I've noticed that people with K in their names are associated with Leo. So think about it. We've got Koberger, we've got Kaylee, then we've got Madison, which is a Leo name with S-O-N in it. We have a lot of Leo names, actually. I'm trying to think who else might have a K in the name, but that, and also King Road. So even if, let's say you think you're, Scorpio or Libra or something like that, if your name's Kim, you're going to have some Leo energy, whether it's in your chart or not. And I can't explain why. I can't explain it. Yes. Thank you, Kernodal. So many Ks. It's so crazy. Miss Charlene, you say you get a total of 5, 3 inside, 2 outside. Okay. Angel, you always get 2 perps, 2 weapons. Yep. I think there was more than two weapons. Miss Charlene, every time I pull cards, I get he's an scapegoat, wondering if there's more that's going to come out that we aren't aware of yet, but will be revealed soon. I get a lot of Pisces energy. Yeah. Oh, Pisces. And Pisces means at night. Angel, Red Room, Urban Legend on Dark Web, just saying. Elphaz, hey, how are you doing? Didn't the diner dash guy, DoorDash guy, see a guy with spiky red hair and not Koberger? I don't know. I did not hear that. So that's really interesting. We also got Ann Taylor. Taylor is a Leo name. Who else do we have in this this crazy situation? Okay, so I'm going to show you the chart. Well, I already showed you this chart, but let me show you something else. You know what I put two and two together the other day, and this is the first time I've done this. You're going to laugh. Angel, according to some of the docs, driving a tan car. What? Okay. Natalie, you said you used your crime deck and asked for 3 cards. Revenge, DNA, and Justice Reversed came out. I asked what was coming out before the end of the year. Yeah, so we're going to see revenge again. Why? Well, we got all of that Scorpio, all the trash, so much trash. Maybe there's going to be something that comes out that has to do with trash. I'm not sure. You know, the bathroom too. Bathroom is also Scorpio. Ugh. Teresa said DoorDash was a girl. They said that on that same Ring camera video that we're explaining. Okay, yeah, I know. Brent K, thank you. There's another one with that king, that Leo energy. It's pretty crazy. Okay, I'm going to tell you something personal, and it is nuts. Okay, but my dad, okay, a Leo, lots and lots and lots of Leo, and law enforcement officer. Okay, and I was covering this case. You know how I've been covering it pretty regularly. And when on the day, and I don't know the connection with this, but he passed July 19th. And it was right as I think it was Koberger was being sentenced. So there was a weird like king energy. He definitely was like the king, you know, he had kingly energy. And so it was very strange. It was very strange. It makes me think about how it could be an omen for kings right now. It's kind of crazy. Yes, Leo. Deb, this couldn't have been planned because Kaylee wasn't supposed to be there, or Ethan. I know. So, yeah, that is strange. Unless he was expecting that she would be there, didn't know any of the situation. And I think also, wasn't there someone who was saying that he was befriending? Now, this I think is kind of preposterous. He was befriending the dog so the dog wouldn't bark. I don't know if I believe that. And now the police are saying that it's possible that Koberger gained entry into the home a few days prior. Thanks, Angel D. Masonry. Yes. Thanks, Teresa. Now you know why I've been so flaky on my shows. Yes. Well, so there's the Leo chart. So interesting. It's a really strong chart. And what is opposing Pluto? Or what is opposing? It's Pluto. And that's in a T-square too. Oh my God. Are you seeing this? This is a dark-haired woman, the one we've been seeing over and over. And she is pissed. What? Okay. All right. There's a woman. It looks like a murder. It could be a murder. Somebody else is murdered that maybe is close to the case. And I say that because Pluto in a square with a planet can mean a murder, especially with Scorpio involved. It's a shocking, shocking murder. Yeah, who is this dark-haired woman? Let's see. This is coming up, guys. What? And it seems like it's in private. It's in a home. Maybe a murder in a home of somebody who knew somebody in this case. Hanged man. So not sure what she wants to do. Kind of stuck, maybe, or no. Okay, hanged man. Maybe she's contemplating what she's going to do. What do you think about that? How do you translate the hanged man for that? Dark-haired woman. Check that out. I know. I was thinking the same thing, Angel. I really thought Olivia when she appeared with her black hair at the hearings. And I remember we were saying in the very beginning, those first shows, somebody was pregnant, and how crazy that the Kaylee's sister, we found out later, was pregnant and had a child, and obviously had the child around the time of the murders. And oh God, get to ducking point. I love that. Hi Val, just wondering if you've covered prosecutor Brian Thompson and why he accepted offered plea deal with no demand of number 163214, full allocation in open court, as in what serial killer BTK forced. It's a good question. It is a good question. No, I have not covered that. How should I cover that? Should I do a chart for that? I don't know. Yes, Christine. Okay, go to sleep, Christine, and we'll let you know what we get. Okay, Angel understood it. It's too late for me. Darlene, crazy, I got the star. And trust me, if I don't understand something, Angel will email me later and say, just so you know, this is what this means. So I appreciate that. You got the star and 8 of swords, same deck. Wow. Okay, for who the woman is. 8 is a Scorpio name. Okay. So this is a dark-haired woman. What the hell? Somebody is keeping a secret here. Is it about this case? Does it have to do with this case on King Road? 2 of Cups. Ooh, looks like a yes. Angel. Hermit, hidden woman. Yeah, there's a hidden woman. Both are dark-haired women on the cards. This is, and by the way, if you have Venus Scorpio squaring Pluto, that's an excessive amount of obsession, need for vengeance, someone extremely jealous. So, and it's in the 4th house. So it's private. Somebody's just seething. What is this person seething about? And part of this storyline, I don't know. 2 of Wands. She's trying to figure out what to do. She's got some options. She's got 2 options. She can go this way or she can go that way. You got the revenge card. Wow. What is your revenge card? Do any of the, guess I'll stick with my crime deck. Do any of the parents know what really happened? I think some of them probably do, or think they do anyway. So, okay. And one thing I wanted to show you too before I go, could the woman be a local businesswoman? Yeah, we were talking about that. It's possible. You're going to have to, Christine. It's not too, just hang there just a little while longer. The Chronicles of Olivia, she covers this in with Kaylee's brother now. Okay, thank you. Natalie, it's in my crime deck that has about 200 cards in it. I split it in half and pull from whichever I'm told to do. Okay, so it does say revenge on it. I get it. I need to get a deck like that. Okay. Yeah, never-ending questions. Okay, so let me just show you this chart. This is Ted Bundy's chart. This is 1974, his progressed chart. Okay. We've got Mercury here, which is a twin, and the moon here, which is a famous twin. Of course, we've got Black Moon Lilith there, and really just not in a good place with the South Node. Usually that means somebody in despair. And so that's the ruler of the chart for 1974. Now, in the late 70s, there were 2 serial killers running around, at least, but the famous ones were David Berkowitz and Ted Bundy. So they were twins, and their victims were also dark-haired, and they all looked alike. So that's why I see that Mercury in some of these charts, and I just worry that there's going to be another killer, maybe somebody with the same profile as Koberger. Now, Berkowitz and Bundy, oh my God, they both had, their names both started with B. And they both had a lot of hair. So they had that Leo energy. Ugh. I want to get a card for them, for these twins. I mean, nothing about what we're talking about, but just to get a card, I wanted to find out we're talking about twins here, twin serial killers. I want to know a card that kind of maybe confirms it. Queen of Wands. I mean, yeah, it confirms it. It's a fire card. Weird that there was a queen. So much feminine energy in those cases. Just so many, especially Bundy, but Berkowitz did focus on the female in the cases when he would walk up behind the cars. Bundy looks like the wolf in that 80s movie Red Riding Hood Horror with Angela Lansbury. Yeah. Brent Bryan, I know. Brent Bryan, and then we've got Bundy and Berkowitz. So, but the problem is that, we don't know anything about Brent. He's dead now, and, it's for entertainment purposes only. So just saying. Yeah. Okay. Hunter Chapin, twin to Ethan. Yeah. Thank you for saying that, because when I first said that, my God, I got to be honest. I'm really giving some reveals here. I'm going to edit all of this stuff out. But one of the reasons that Todd and I don't, we don't co-host anymore is it brought so many horrible trolls, like really nasty women, and all they did was just beat me up for saying that Ethan was a twin, when they're like, no, they were triplets. And I'm like, you don't get it. You just don't get it. It's just people who look alike. It was a very strange time, I got to say. The former boss, dark short hair, but maybe AG, the sister. Okay. All right. Oh, I wanted to see something too. Maybe you want to watch it with me. Let me see if I can do it. It's Nancy Grace. I think it's a real quick one. Okay, hold on. It's either 9 seconds or I think it's 9 minutes. Okay, hold on. Probably have to get some advertising.
If what you're doing in your life right now.
And she ran upstairs because she saw someone. That's what I'm pretty sure she's.
And we've been talking about this, but how weird that everybody is in a white blanket. They look like ghosts, which would be Pisces. So much Pisces. So appear and disappear. Okay, hang on.
Someone's here, and she screamed and just ran downstairs.
All right, hold on.
And I called for her name, but I jumped up and locked my door because I was so scared. Awesome one.
Hold on. Why is this not working? Okay. Here we go.
That's what I'm pretty sure she said. Someone's here, and she screamed and just ran downstairs. And I called for her name, but I jumped up and locked my door because I was so scared. And then I heard someone in the bathroom, and I heard her crying, and I heard some guy say that you're going to be okay, I'm going to help you. And I kept calling her name, but she wasn't answering. And then I opened the door for a second, and I saw this guy, and he was not insanely tall, but he's wearing all black and like this mask, which is covering his forehead and his mouth. And I locked the door, and I called, and I didn't know what to do.
This is at 4
a.m., yes.
Okay. So she's saying that she called Bethany. And then she did say that Kaylee ran downstairs, right? What do you guys think? Darlene, you said you're feeling a lot of patterns with 8s for some reason. And she did call 911. Yeah, D's too. Right. Dylan, DoorDash. Jack in the Box. And that's Leo. You know, you're talking about Jack as in, Jack in a card deck. We talked about that before. Then we got burgers, bars, burglar. So weird. All right. I'm going to get back to this.
Dr. Bethany Marshall, what about this getup? Dr. Bethany Marshall, renowned psychoanalyst out of the LA jurisdiction, author of Deal Breaker. You can see her now on Peacock and find her at drbethanymarshall.com. Dr. Bethany, he's all dressed up. Somebody's been watching too many movies, right? All dressed up in black with the hat, the mask, the black outfit covering his clothes, everything. He really thought this through. It's like he's playing a role. He's all dressed up for it.
It's like this is cosplay as a mass murderer, right? And in some ways, he's embodied this role for so many years. He's fantasized about it. He's thought about it. He's taught. He's done studies, asked other people about sexual crimes during the course of a burglary. I mean, this is his reason for living, Nancy. This is his moment of glory. This is the bride standing in front of the altar saying, yay, I'm going to finally get married. But what I see in all of this is a terrifying scene that turns into a melee.
Dr. Bethany, you're right. The stark reality of what we're seeing, and there's so much to take in, is very different than what we were told. I mean, what do they think we are? Fat, dumb, and happy? We can't figure it out. And now we're just going to go along with that cheap plea deal. Watch this.
And so then I just ran down to
you left here?
I left my room down to she's that one with the white blinds at the very bottom. Okay. I ran down there and we talked, and we just locked the door. We didn't think anything of it. We're like, nothing happens in Moscow, so we just tried to go to bed. And then we woke up, and it was weird because none of our roommates were up, and we called all of them. They were not waking up, and so me and this is weird. So I called and come over, and then that's when all this happened.
Did you hear that, Chris McDonough? You and I have walked the crime scene many, many times. Nothing happens in Moscow. They locked the door. There was no sign of forced entry. This tells me he was already in there.
Yeah, Nancy, that's a possibility for sure that he had come in through that back door when the dog was brought in. But, kudos to this first officer on the scene here, the one that's interviewing Dylan. I mean, think about this. This is the largest murder at that time in Idaho, I think probably in their history in terms of its magnitude. This is an officer who has slowed things down. He's a new officer. I think he's in his 20s. He's around this individuals who are the same age as him. He's gone into that scene. He's seen everything that's going on in there. And there's one officer that runs up those stairs initially, and he tells him immediately, slow down. There are over 300 decisions that need to be made within 15 minutes of a homicide. Over 300 decisions. Now think about that. This is a young officer, never seen anything like this. And now he's pulled this witness apart to the side and said, okay, what
is going on here? And then Dylan starts to tell this story, and they start making those connections. Could the dog, have been out? Could the suspect have been in that house? And it's total chaos initially, but then it becomes organized chaos. And I got to give this officer credit because he shifted immediately into a crime scene preservation and crime scene investigation.
I've never been a part of something from the beginning. Everybody sees a big tourist town that has property that's.
To Sydney Summer joining me, crime stories investigative reporter. Sydney, what is probative about that body cam we just showed? We're learning a lot from every word. I remember I was in my room, I was trying to go to bed. I heard Kelly, which one is your room? She's describing whose room is where. And she says, all I heard her go upstairs like, okay, I'm going to go to sleep now. Kelly and the dog Murphy. What do you learn? What does this prove, Sydney?
Well, for me, so first we have to get in our minds that the entire time Dylan insists Kaylee went upstairs. Kaylee screamed. Kaylee ran down the stairs. And the officer even points this out later. He says to another officer, she somehow knows, she was somehow able to discern this was Kaylee. But we don't think that's actually true. So we have to think about the layout of the house. So Kaylee and Maddie were asleep upstairs. Xana's room was on the second floor where Dylan's room was. So the only thing that makes sense for somebody to have ran down those stairs is Xana, not Kaylee, not Maddie. So we have to get that in our heads as we're listening to Dylan's recollection of events. But it just proves to me that someone was there. These women are correct. Someone was in their house. So as far as we know, all they know is that Xana was found unconscious. But
Sid,
for them, this proves someone was there.
Hold on. You're saying someone was in the house. Sid, do you think at the time when we think Kelly was saying, hey, I'm going to go to bed, I'm going to go to sleep, do you think he was already in the house? Because now I believe that he was already in there waiting for them to go to sleep. I don't think that they all went to their beds and then he snuck in.
I agree with you. And we also learned later that Maddie was the last person to take Murphy out. So Maddie checks in with Dylan and Bethany one more time. Hey, I lost Murphy. I can't get him to come inside. Is he with either of y'all? She is looking for the dog. So again, this dog who they described for weeks was on edge before the murders, who was constantly going off into the woods and wouldn't come back when called, just acting very, very oddly, does the same thing this night when they're taking him out for the last time. So I'm kind of feeling like Kohberger was watching as they took the dog out for the very last time and maybe snuck in just behind them as they brought the dog in.
Maddie took out Murphy and then...
Murphy's the dog?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I went inside to go to bed and she was still taking him out. And then I was in my bed, like, about to go to sleep, and Maddie just said that she lost Murphy. Like, she was, like, and was wondering if he was with me, and I just said no. And then I went to bed.
At what time do you think you fell asleep?
Maybe 2:30.
You're hearing Bethany Funk speaking to Moscow PD. This is the morning after her roommates were murdered by Brian Kohberger. Sydney Sumner, do you hear that? I was in my bed about to go to sleep, and Maddie just said that she lost Murphy, and she was like, I was wondering if he was with me, and I just said no, and I went to bed. You see what's happening here? All the speculation about the dog. He had been there before, and he had befriended the dog. He knew Murphy, and Murphy the dog, was part of the scenario that night. Sydney?
Absolutely. I think that's exactly what we're hearing. So it seems like, I don't know, for me personally, when I have guests in my home, I lock my pets in my room with me. So I think that's probably was their usual go-to. Maddie and Kaylee planned to lock Murphy in the room with them before they went to sleep, but Maddie took Murphy out, and now that she's come back inside, she doesn't know where he went. She's trying to find him so they can lay down to go to sleep. So it's unclear if Murphy was still outside, if he was just wandering somewhere else in the house. Maybe he already found Koberger in their bedroom and was speaking with him. But from what we know, it sounds like these girls were asleep in the top room when Koberger attacked Kaylee and Maddie.
It's never been easier to start a
How can that be
podcast than with
possible?
Riverside. Here's how it works. First, go to riverside.fm and
If they were both asleep, how could Kaylee say that there's someone here? So that's what I'm trying to get my head around. And the other thing too is, and these are some points that you've made, it didn't look like there was anything really out of place. There was the table there. There was beer pong. I mean, there were cups everywhere, but it did not look like there was a major, what do you call it? Thrashing around. Maybe I haven't seen some of the areas of the house because they were blacked out, but the areas that we did see just look like a typical college house. So I'm not sure exactly what to believe there. I'm going to do a card for Kaylee. Was Kaylee asleep when Koberger attacked? Looks like yes. Clarifier card on that. King of Pentacles. Was Kaylee asleep? It looks like a man, though. There's a man that's involved here. Ace of Swords. So looks like somebody's sleeping. Has to do with the lower floor too. Yeah, when did they lose Murphy? This is all really getting me confused here. There's the answer. No drive up again after DoorDash, and Nancy said somebody was in the house, so there were 2 people. You think 2 killers? I don't know. I don't know. It's hard for me to believe that a killer is going to befriend the dog. You got 5 of Cups reversed. Okay, so that would be a no. I don't think she was asleep. Maybe half asleep, but they had just, from what I understand, they had just been dancing and they decided to go upstairs. So I think that's what we're trying to figure out. Was there a time frame, maybe 2 hours between the time, they were walking the dog or they were letting the dog out and then going to sleep? Or was it right away that they ended up going up to sleep? Now, what's being left out, the entire, witness statements and all of that, you're not hearing anything about Madison. You're not hearing what Maddie was doing. You don't hear anybody listening to her saying anything, screaming, nothing. But if you remember what Todd said, that there was some type of, maybe he snuck up on them while they were asleep and gagged them. Now that's the other possibility. So maybe there weren't loud screams. He was saying there was a very low moan and scream. So that might make sense. I forgot about that. I know, poor Murphy. They lost him twice in one day. It's amazing how dogs can really reflect what is happening around you. All right. So, we'll have to leave it there, and I'll be back on again when we're covering a new subject regarding the King Road murders. It's coming up. They're continuing to talk about it, trying to pull everything apart. I think there's going to be some more press, some more leaks, and we're going to have to find out what is going on between November and December, because it looks like a shock. It really does. And remember, she said Goncalves, and isn't it Gonsalves? This was either Bethany or Dylan that we're talking about. He used the word gag too, remember? Yes. So, yeah. Yeah, he barked loudly. So, yeah, DoorDash car wandering around for 15 minutes confuses me too. So, and going back to what Todd was saying, I could never understand why he was like, he was there for an hour. And it makes sense now that he was hiding. He was hiding in there, listening, and which is what we got in the chart. We got someone was eavesdropping, which was, I think, the name of one of the past shows. So, okay, you want to hear about Emmanuel Harrow case? Okay, thank you. And I'll look into it. Have a nice evening, everyone, and sleep tight to all of you, especially Miss Charlene. And I'll talk to you guys soon.